Thanks for joining us back at the Midwest Showdown, the 2016 edition. This next matchup is going to feature Sky Diggs Elite Sullivan taking on Indy Magic Blanding here on day 2 of the Midwest Showdown. Looks like we're waiting for our second official. And we're ready to roll. You look at both of the teams coming into this one. They both sported 1-1 records there in pool play, part of what has them here in the gold bracket in the Elite Division at this year's Showdown. 30-second shot clock here in this division. It is Sky Diggs Elite Sullivan that wins the tip. And working inside to Macy Williams, one of the better post players here in the field. Persistence pays off as she gets the layup. And makes it a 2-0 ball game early on. Sky Diggs with the lead. So Indy Magic Blanding with the ball. That's Destiny Perkins out with it up top. First time seeing Perkins here on court 5. Saw her and the Magic from a distance in yesterday's overtime loss to Kentucky Premier. A matchup that had people standing around that one wall to wall. The lone loss there for Indy Magic in pool play. Williams, 2 shot attempts, 2 buckets. Makes it 4-0. Nice job of moving without the ball. Shot won't go initially for Rachel McLemore. Goes for the rebound, but can't get it. Good pep being shown in the step of Sky Diggs Elite Sullivan so far. At 3-pointers off the mark. Rebound pulled out of there by Riley Blackwell. Katie Sullivan with the rebound, and she'll push ahead. That's Blakely Schurig looking to step in the one. Schurig is off the mark. 14 minutes, 18 seconds left to play here in the first half. Three-pointer kicks off the back of the rim. Long rebound chased down by Tasia Jeffries. Jeffries had to sit towards the end of yesterday's game versus All Ohio in pool play for Sky Diggs Elite Sullivan. Was actually cut there on her face by the time they had stopped the bleeding. Sky Diggs Elite just aired on the safe side and sat Jeffries for the rest of that game. So good to see Jeffries back out there. Took a licking and kept on ticking. Here as bracket play gets started here on day 2. Still a 4-0 ball game. Macy Williams with both buckets for Sky Diggs Elite. We'll have a blocking foul there on Schurig as she goes to work there on Rachel McLemore. It's Nia Clark with it. Good ball movement there by Indy Magic. Jumper off the front of the rim. Schurig gets it to Williams, and Williams will have her first trip to the free throw line here in today's contest. Has a chance to get her 5th and 6th points. Williams good on the first. Second one will miss, or she'll split the pair of free throws. The assist for Perkins The triple knocked down there by Tara Reitbach. So Indy Magic gets on the board with the triple. Answering right back is a Jeffries triple out of the corner for Sky Diggs Elite. It'll reestablish the 5-point advantage here as we come up on the 12-minute mark. That jumper short, so it'll go the other way. Substitution in for Sky Diggs Elite, number 22, Carly Wedding. Stanley Sullivan with it. That one scoots through the legs of Sullivan. Williams trying to kick it back out. Daly Sullivan, another player to keep your eye on for this Sky Diggs Elite squad. Destiny Perkins hasn't been able to get the jumper to fall so far in this one. He's gotten a few good looks. Carly Wedding headed to the line after being fouled there on the fast break. And this is the first. 11 minutes, 52 seconds left to play here in the first half. Score 9-3 now after Wedding splits the free throws. Step back jumper on the way. That one's way too strong. We'll go back to Diggs Elite. Substitution in for Indy Magic, number 20, Emma LeMasters. First attempt missed inside by Jade. She touches it last, trying to retrieve the offensive rebound. So it'll be brought across by Perkins. For Perkins to get going as this game goes on. Hasn't gotten the outcome that she's wanted with her first few shots, but they've been good shots within the offense for her to knock those down at a higher clip as the game goes on. Wedding trying to make things difficult there on the perimeter. Perkins holds on to it. Can't get the floater to go. Good team defense there by Sky Diggs Elite. Beat one, had a couple waiting on her. Jeffries with her second three-pointer of the first half. And it's a steal. Wedding brings it across. It's Sullivan. Jade on the move. She'll be fouled there by number 24, Riley Blackwell. So the lead now out to 9 for Diggs Elite. Jade can push it to a double-digit advantage here at the line. One of the things you'll notice with Indy Magic, they've got 6 players there. See if that takes a toll as the game continues. Not down by a ton of points right now, but still playing catch-up here. Sky Diggs Elite has a few more resources to work with there on that bench. We'll see what effect that plays as the game goes on. But still enough good pieces, personnel, and good coaching out there for Indy Magic to win this game. They just got to try to get some rhythm going. Sky Diggs Elite not making it easy. Sullivan out to Wedding. They close out on Wedding. She'll get to the rack. She misses. Williams on the follow-up attempt. No good. But 24 seconds there on that new shot clock. Jeffries can't miss from three-point land. As we've got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a timeout with them. We'll bring you more Midwest Showdown after this. Right now, Sky Diggs Elite is rolling.
My man, Dwayne Wade. You got this. You cool.
Cool like a penguin in a tank top.
Cool like a convertible with a snowplow.
Like a streaker at a hockey game.
Like a finger rolled in February.
Cool like a Yeti eating frozen spaghetti.
Ooh. The cool, crisp flavor of Gatorade Frost. Play cool.
Back out of the timeout, 16-3. This is the score. Head coach Justin Blanding getting the timeout after that last Jeffries three, and the timeout bears fruit as they get their first score in a while, does Indy Magic. That's Riley Blackwell scoring it inside to make it 16-5. Launching a three-pointer, that's Lauren James, a recent substitution in for Diggs Elite. Some of that depth that I mentioned earlier, and watching that dynamic closely as the game goes on. 19-5 ball game, last touch by Diggs Elite, so it'll stick with Indy Magic. Foul going to go against Wedding. Wedding trying her best to keep Rachel McLemore from getting the ball inbounds. Call for the foul there. Jumper coming from the corner. Fresh shot clock after the offensive rebound. Nice move and step back there by McLemore, but the shot not on the same level. And tough finding consistency on the offensive end for Indy Magic. Some of that you can credit good defense by Sky Diggs Elite as Daly Sullivan gets that one to go off the window. Back to the offensive struggles for Indy Magic. Some of it is good defense. Some of it is just not making shots here early on. Happens to the best of them. Best additional example I can give you is Klay Thompson starting off 3 of 11 in last night's game. And I think we all saw how that turned out. Not to say Indy Magic will have that type of shooting effort, but you expect them to get better at scoring the ball as the game goes on, just given the talent that they have. Easier said than done at this point as they find themselves down 23-5. They deny the scoring attempt by Williams there on that play. And they will retain possession as that one's knocked out of bounds. McLemore with it up top, guarded by Wedding. Now over to Clark. LeMasters puts it on the floor. She's fouled by Keegan Sullivan. Daly's younger sister here on this squad, just an 8th grader. Brooke Jade checks back in for Sky Diggs Elite. Macy Williams will have a seat. Perkins to inbound. Perkins with the assist, the lay-in there by Nia Clark. All over it was James. They get the steal. Pushing it on the break. Skips it over to Wedding. Wedding has it poked away, but they'll reset it up top. Carly Wedding earns another trip to the free throw line. So a rare instance there. Both free throws missed by Wedding. That'll keep it at a 16-point game. Clark had to reverse it after losing the handle initially. Pulled out of there by Sullivan. Janae chases down that pass now. Get it out top to Shurik. Shurik looking to use the screen. Checking back in for Sky Diggs Elite, number 1, Daly Sullivan, and number 4, Tasha Jeffries. Jeffries a perfect 3 for 3 from three-point land. Start this one. Perkins just can't buy a bucket. You see that ability to get to multiple levels there on the floor. You haven't seen her finish as much as I'm sure Coach Justin Blanding would like, but you see some of why this team went toe-to-toe with Kentucky Premier in pool play yesterday. The name of the game here is you just want to stay within striking distance if you're Indy Magic until the shots start to fall. A 16-point first half deficit, not ideal, but still something you can work with. Offensive rebound by McLemore, laid up and in. Some contact on that play, no call. Sky Diggs Elite playing through it. Jade with the offensive rebound and lay in. Three from the top of the key. No good. The box out by Sullivan and the rebound. Jeffries loses her footing. Jump ball, and the possession arrow will keep it with Diggs Elite. Checking back in for Indy Magic Blanding, number 1, Tara Brightback. Ball falls out of bounds there. Last touch by Jade. Easier said than done, but if you're Indy Magic, got to keep them off of the offensive glass. Coast to coast, the and one. Lauren James. Nobody stopped ball, and James makes them pay. You see nobody really cut her off. Trying to swipe in, see if they can knock it away. That just leads to the and one there for James. Tough shot there by Perkins. She gets it, puts Indy Magic in the double-digit column in terms of scoring as they try to get this gap down to single digits. Jeffries. 4 for 4 from three-point land. Tasia Jeffries. She's a good player that can knock it down regardless. Not sure if she's playing with a little bit of a chip on the shoulder after yesterday's cut there on the face. Whatever you see as the motivation, she is splashing it outside. We'll be back 30-11 in favor of Sky Diggs Elite. Back out of the timeout, 30-11. We're under the 4-minute mark here in the first half. James loses the handle on the crossover. Gets it ahead to Perkins. Do the magic. Perkins twisting, turning, can't get the layup to go. Now here's Sullivan. Are down by Jeffries. Thought it might be a heat check there. Instead, she'll get it out top. Keegan Sullivan over to Shurik. Shurik, nice little hesitation along the baseline. Good recovery. They're on the defensive end as Emma Masters is able to get a piece of that last shot. Back and forth we go on both sides. Tasha Jeffries fouled and sent to the line. Foul called on the floor. Thought Jeffries had already picked up and gathered on that one. Official rules the foul on the floor, so they inbound it. Sullivan looking to work baseline. Now she'll pull it back out. There's Wedding. Good defense there by Clark. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ball poked away, and McLemore is able to come up with the steal. Good defensive possession there by the Magic. Their best one so far this game. Foul going against Brooke today there. Call for the hold. 2 minutes, 11 seconds on the game clock. Perkins tries to thread the needle. It's poked away. Perkins ahead to Clark. Power dribble and a tough shot inside. Ball touched last by Shurik, so back over to Indy Magic. Riley Blackwell, number 24, checks back into the game. Destiny Perkins fouled on the play. She'll head to the line. Perkins out of Lawrence North High School. There in Indianapolis. Perkins makes both free throws. Pass ahead as Wedding gets another bucket. Wedding does a great job defensively for Sky Diggs Elite, but also on the offensive end. Good amount of movement, can finish. You don't really see a ton of one-on-one ball, period, here for Sky Diggs Elite. You don't see the ball stick much, and you got capable players like Daly Sullivan, Wedding, Jade, Shurik. They share the ball and know when to pick their spots. Sullivan with another bucket there on that last fast break. The younger Sullivan, Keegan, called for the foul there as Nia Clark will go to the line. So back-to-back trips to the free throw line here for Indy Magic. It's Destiny Perkins, now Nia Clark is at the line. Those two names will be a big part of any comeback effort. Couple elements have contributed to where this game is at right now, with it being 13-34, a lopsided lead for Sky Diggs Elite. Diggs Elite Sullivan did a good job on the defensive end, making things tough for Perkins and the ball handlers for Indy Magic early on. Players that are more than capable, but Diggs Elite made sure everything they did for the first few minutes, they did it with a defender or two in their face. So you couple that slow start with the fact that Indy Magic is relatively short-handed in this game with just 6 players. They won't use it as an excuse, but it's still something that plays a factor, as the effort has been there for them, but just the fight in the legs, not so much. Another and one for Sky Diggs Elite. This time it's Shurik. Makes it 36-13. So on top of the good defense by Sky Diggs Elite and the legs not being as fresh as you would like for them to be with Indy Magic, you look at the fact that Sky Diggs Elite has done a good job of scoring the ball, applying even more pressure on Indy Magic. All those ingredients add up to the recipe for success that we saw Sky Diggs Elite experience there in the first half. This one scored 37-13 as we go into halftime here at the Midwest Showdown.
The feeling of the perfect shot feels effortless to me. Right when I release that shot, it just feels serene and quiet. It's only me and the rim and the basketball. With my height, to have an impact and to be the player that I wanted to be, I needed to change my shot, and that was going to be something that would be beneficial for the long term. The process started just breaking my shot down from the initial release to the follow-through. And there were days that I couldn't even get the ball to the rim. There were days that I couldn't go outside of the paint area. It was very frustrating to not be able to shoot the way that I wanted to. The hardest part of that process was definitely the patience. But if I just stuck to getting better every day, eventually I would be able to shoot where I wanted to, anywhere on the floor. I went through some tough days, but found a way to just persevere and see it through. It starts with a great base and great foundation and allows everything to feel perfect. I can do all things.
everyday life. The sun rises in the east. Winds blow from the west. Heaving oceans rise and fall, and every darkness reveals the brightest stars. There is power in these everyday patterns. And our muscles, like our minds, have memory. And for that, we must be strong. Every day.
Second half is underway here at the Midwest Showdown. Courts for Sports here in Mason, Ohio. Minutes away from downtown Cincinnati. Thanks for joining us back here. And if you're Indy Magic, you hope it's a tale of two halves here and that the second goes a lot better than the first did. The shots just would not fall for Indy Magic there in that first half. Look at the Sky Digs Elite side of things. They got multiple players going. Brooke Jade, the baby jumper, the assist there by Daly Sullivan. Answering right back on the other end is Nia Clark. Like what I've seen so far here in this Midwest Showdown from both Nia Clark as well as Destiny Perkins, just to name a few for Indy Magic. For those that might not have seen them play, this game's performance definitely an outlier. As they have missed shots inside, outside, none of them staying down. And they are handling it better than I'd see a lot of teams handle it. Not really showing visible signs of frustration, understanding what's going on, but still playing hard. Trying to overcome what's been a tough go at it at this point. Sullivan makes the second free throw. Clark floats it up, bounces around, won't go down, but they'll get a fresh 30-second shot clock after the offensive rebound. Macy Williams pokes that one out of play. Perkins with it. Jeffries over to Shurik. Looking inside for Macy Williams now. Williams kicks it out. That's a good look. Sullivan for three. Money. Things just coming very easy for Sky Digs Elite here in this game. And by easy, I mean good ball movement. Nobody's trying to force it. You had Macy Williams with a pretty good shot one-on-one there in the post. Passed up a good shot for an even better shot out there to a wide open Sullivan. Is everybody getting involved in the scoring affair for Diggs elite. Keegan Sullivan misses that, but tips it right to Jeffries, and Jeffries will lay it in. She scores one inside the perimeter. She's been a sniper from the outside, 4 of 4 from three-point land. Strong take and one for Riley Blackwell out of Plainfield High School. Sullivan goes coast to coast. Sullivan looking to push again. Gonna take it right at McLemore. Floats it up and in. And we'll have a timeout on the floor. So 49-18. They take a timeout. We'll take one with them. Sky Diggs Elite pouring it on here in the second half.